Governor Baker, in the national grid lockout, you've made efforts to bring both sides together, but 4 months in, workers are still off the job. You say you're worried about safety issues, among other issues. So what's your administration doing to end this standoff?
Well, first of all, we've encouraged both sides to get together and to end it, and we have mediated discussions between both sides. I think the most important thing we've done is put a moratorium in place that basically says, because of the lack of manpower and the lack of resources available in the national grid because of the lockout, that they can't do anything other than what I would describe as statutory work and emergency service work. It's my hope that that will prod National Grid and the steelworkers to come together and get this deal done. The one thing we did do to make sure it was possible to bring those folks up to the Merrimack Valley is we ensured that all the paperwork that needed to be done to make it possible for those locked out workers to work up in the Merrimack Valley and get paid to do so was put in place. I think it's fair to say everybody wants to see this lockout end. And I do believe by holding National Grid's feet to the fire with respect to not permitting them to do anything other than their statutory work and emergency repairs, that is going to move the debate and the discussion forward for them.
Mr. Gonzalez, what's missing from the governor's response? What would you have done anything different if you had been governor?
I would have intervened immediately, months ago. The way the workers are being treated by National Grid is reprehensible. They were locked out of their jobs, not being paid, health insurance taken away from them and their families. Put aside the safety concerns that with the work that the temporary workers are doing, where hundreds of complaints were filed with the governor's Department of Public Utilities weeks before the Merrimack Valley disaster with no response. I went with the workers, the locked out workers, to the Department of Public Utilities to express concern about the safety violations. But they've been treated reprehensibly, and there are real consequences to this. So I would have intervened immediately. And I want to say, I know the executives of the gas companies and the other utilities are filling Governor Baker's campaign coffers. I am in this to fight for all the working families in this state, all the little guys like these workers who've been locked out of their jobs, and that's who I'm going to fight for as governor.
Governor Baker, can you give us a drop-dead date for when you want a new contract reached between the two parties and when you want those workers back on the job?
Well, I would like them back on the job now, and the reason we put the constraints around the work that National Grid was allowed to do was because, A, we were concerned about the safety issues. The DPU, in fact, several weeks ago, issued a lengthy memo to National Grid about safety concerns they had with respect to their work that we're still waiting for National Grid to respond to. But the best way, we believe, we can participate in this process to ensure they're not doing anything that they're not qualified to do when they're working shorthand, which is what they're doing now.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Yeah, one other thing to add to this. There's a big difference between the governor and myself on energy needs generally. He supports expanding natural gas pipeline infrastructure in this state. I strongly oppose it. I will do everything in my power as governor to prevent the expansion of natural gas pipeline infrastructure here. We don't need it. It will just further our dependence on fossil fuels, and as we've been reminded by the Merrimack Valley incident, it is dangerous. So this is a big difference between the two of us that I think people should be aware of.
Governor Baker, do you want to quickly respond to this?
Well, first of all, I just want to point out that our administration is the one that created an offshore wind industry on the east coast of the United States. The procurement that we did, working with our colleagues in the legislature to put that plan together, shocked everyone when it came out with the price point on it, and as a result, Connecticut jumped in, Rhode Island jumped in, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Delaware, all the way down the coast. The fastest way to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels is to create affordable alternatives, and we've moved that ball way down the field.